Brenda is 50, but mentally she's stuck in the terrible twos. She insists on eating from a pastel pink silicone bowl. Demands a booster seat in the car. And if I leave my Sephora bag unattended, she raids it for baby cream. I tried to be gentle, Brenda. Come on, you're old enough to be a grandmother. Acting like a toddler isn't cute. We're going to laugh at you. Brenda rolled her eyes so hard. I thought they detach. A lucky woman gets to be a baby until she's 80. She sneered. My daddy spoiled me before I got married. My husband spoiled me after. And once I popped out a son, he started treating me like his little favorite. You wouldn't understand, Chloe. You've never been loved like that. The favorite comment made me want to vomit in my mouth. But it got worse. On my anniversary with my husband Ethan, she barged into our bedroom, wearing nothing but a silk slip that barely covered her backside. I need a bedtime story, she whined, crawling between us. Baby Brenda is gonna have nightmares. Ethan was sick of it, too. But the second he showed a hint of annoyance, Brenda would run to the balcony screaming she was going to jump. Then my father-in-law Hank would storm in. That is your mother. Would it kill you to let her have her way? The house was a constant circus. Kept my mouth shut to keep the peace until the day I stared at two pink lines on a stick. I walked into the living room to share the news. But Brenda was already there, clutching her lower back and arching it dramatically. Good news, everyone. She squealed. I'm a little prego. Mommy again. My tummy is now a baby bump. That was it. The gloves were coming off. My chopsticks hit the table with a loud clatter. Brenda shot me a dirty look. Chin high. What's wrong? Are you unhappy that I'm pregnant? Who are you giving that nasty face to? I used to tolerate her because she was family. But she was a bottomless pit of drama. And I wasn't going to be the dough she needed anymore. I don't see what there is to be happy about, I said coldly. You're 50, Brenda. That's a geriatric pregnancy. It's high risk. Most doctors wouldn't even touch you. If something happens, who suffers? Me and your son. Excuse me. Are you cursing me? Brenda stamped her foot, her face turning red. Ethan. Look at this woman you married. She wants me to die. Ethan. Still processing the shock. That his mother was intimate enough with his dad to conceive. Rubbed his temples. Mom. Honestly, Chloe is right. He sighed. I'm glad you and Dad are active. But you can't keep this baby. You guys are getting old. Who's going to raise it? We need to schedule an appointment to take care of it. Brenda let out a dramatic wail and threw herself into Hank's arms. Hank slammed his hand on the table. You ungrateful brat. How can you say something so heartless? That's your own brother or sister in there. We can't take care of a newborn. Ethan argued. If we can't do it, isn't that what you and Chloe are for? Hank shouted. We work full-time. We don't have time. Hank pointed a greasy finger at me. Then make her quit. Men need to work. But she's just a woman. She's not going to achieve anything anyway. Let her stay home and raise the kid. Chloe isn't our maid, Dad, Ethan snapped. You can't shut up, you spineless traitor. They say the eldest sister-in-law is like a mother. Letting her raise the kid is an honor. I let out a cold laugh. Hank. Maybe finish reading the history books. Eldest sister-in-law is like a mother. Only applies when the real mother is dead. I stared at Brenda. Mom. This time I'm not cursing you. Just stating facts. You're trying to start a rebellion. Brenda's chest heaved. She grabbed Ethan's arm and shook it violently. Screeching, are you going to let her bully me? I birthed you. Here we go again. She treats Ethan like husband number 2 and me like the help. I grabbed a porcelain bowl and smashed it on the floor. Crash. Brenda, shut up instantly. You wanna act crazy? I can do crazy. Shut up, I hissed. If you scare the baby in my belly, can you afford the consequences? Silence. Ethan was the first to react. Hey, Chloe. Did you say you have a baby? I pulled the ultrasound report from my bag and slammed it on the table. Read it and weep. Ethan grabbed me, spinning me around. Oh. My God, I'm gonna be a dad, Chloe. This is amazing. Even Hank softened up. Well, look at that. Why didn't you say so earlier? All that yelling don't upset my grandson. Only Brenda looked upset. There was no joy. Only resentment. The look of a narcissist whose spotlight just got stolen. I tried to tell you, I said, smoothing my shirt. But you guys attacked me the second I sat down. It sounded like you didn't want this baby. Don't be silly, Chloe. Ethan soothed, rubbing my back. We want him, Brenda sniffed. Fine. Since it's there, keep it. We can't lose the bloodline. Hank cleared his throat. Look. We were all heated. It's a double blessing you two can be pregnant together. Keep each other company. Brenda huffed. Fine. But she better not stress me out. And since I'm pregnant, too. I can't take care of her. Call her mother over to serve us both. Her mom doesn't do anything anyway. My mother is a functioning adult. Brenda, I shot back. She has a job and a life. She doesn't have a fixation on being a giant infant like you. Brenda choked. You dare mock me. Is that how you talk to your mother-in-law? I thought you were a baby. I smirked. Babies get scolded when they're naughty. Why is it that when you want care, you're a toddler, but when you want respect, you're the matriarch? I leaned in. That's very convenient. Brenda turned purple. Hank dragged her away before she could explode. Back in our room, Ethan made me honey water. He's a good guy. Just beaten down by years of his mother's insanity. Chloe, I know it sucks. My mom is a lot. But next year we'll have the down payment for the new house. We'll move out, just us and the baby. I looked at him. Ethan. Wake up. That's not the point. If she has this kid, by the time it graduates high school, your dad will be in a nursing home. Who pays for it? Us. If your mom comes crawling to you crying about saving your sibling, will you let them starve? Ethan clenched his jaw. They made the bed. They lie in it. I focus on my family. Legally, Ethan. If your parents die, you are obligated to raise that minor. Can we handle 2 babies? Because I can't. If my doctor hadn't told me my uterine lining was thin, and this might be my only chance, I would have divorced him right there. I'll talk to her, Ethan promised. I'll make her get rid of it. To his credit, he tried. He told Brenda about the health risks, defects, the danger. Brenda's response. She ran to the window and threw one leg over the sill. I gave birth to you in pain. And now you treat me like an enemy because I'm pregnant. You only care about your wife. Might as well jump and die. Hank tackled her, glaring at Ethan. You're killing your mother. Get out. That night, Ethan came back defeated. I need more time, Chloe. No, I said. There is only one solution. What we call in the airstrike. We call Nana Rose. Hank always used seniority to crush me. So I decided to fight magic with dark magic. If the daughter-in-law can't discipline the mother-in-law, surely the mother-in-law's mother-in-law can. Nana Rose, Ethan's grandmother, was legendary. She was a tough-as-nails woman from the country who took no nonsense. If someone cursed her, she'd curse their entire ancestry. If a dog barked at her wrong, she'd bark back. She raised Ethan, while Brenda and Hank were off finding themselves and doing business. He only loved Ethan. Brenda terrified her. 2 days later, Brenda was acting up again. Chloe, she yelled from the couch, rubbing her belly. I want yogurt. Cut up some fruit and make me a baby parfait. No, I said, not looking up from my phone. What? Whose daughter-in-law doesn't serve the mother? Don't think just because you're pregnant you're special. I'm still the queen of this house. Jumped in. Okay. Okay, I'll do it. You're both treasures. Brenda pouted, sticking her lip out. I want Chloe to do it. She needs to learn filial piety. You didn't birth me. You didn't raise me. I said, why should I serve you? Because Brenda looked arrogant. Those are the rules of the Shin family. Deal with it. Suddenly, the front door slammed open. Nonsense. Since when does the Shin family have that rule? The front door didn't just open, it vibrated against the wall. Standing there was Nana Rose, a woman standing barely 5 feet tall but casting a shadow that swallowed the entire room. She wore a dark floral blouse, sensible orthopedic shoes, and carried a cane that looked less like a walking aid and more like a weapon of war. Nana. Ethan breathed, the relief in his voice palpable. Brenda froze. The spoon of imaginary yogurt halfway to her mouth trembled. Mom, she stammered, dropping the baby voice instantly. What are you doing here? I heard the Shin family had new rules, Nana Rose said, her voice like gravel in a cement mixer. She limped into the room, her eyes scanning the mess, the smashed porcelain, the chaotic living room, and finally resting on Brenda's silk slip. And I heard my daughter-in-law is walking around half-naked in front of her son. Put some clothes on, you disgrace. Hank, usually the tyrant of the house, shrank into the sofa. Mom, don't start. Brenda is pregnant. She's delicate. Delicate? Nana Rose scoffed, whacking Hank's shin with her cane. She's 50. She's not delicate, she's delusional. And you, she turned to me, her expression softening just a fraction. Chloe. You're pregnant? Yes, Nana. Good. You have hips for it. You sit down. Nana Rose pointed her cane at Brenda. You. Get dressed. We have a family meeting. Now. For the first time in years, Brenda didn't scream about suicide. She didn't wail. She ran upstairs to put on pants. Fear, it turned out, was a great cure for regression. Chapter 2, The Regime Change. Nana Rose didn't just visit, she occupied. She took the guest room downstairs, declaring that her knees couldn't handle the stairs, which conveniently placed her right next to the kitchen, Brenda's domain of chaos. The dynamic shifted overnight. When Brenda tried to whine for breakfast in bed the next morning, Nana Rose marched into her room with a bucket of cold water and a rag. In my day, pregnant women worked the fields until the water broke, Nana barked. Get up. If you have the energy to make a baby at 50, you have the energy to sweep the floor. I have morning sickness. Brenda cried, clutching her stomach. Little Brenda feels yucky. Stop talking like an idiot. Nana roared. You are a grandmother. Speak like an adult or don't speak at all. Brenda looked to Hank for help, but Hank was busy trying to hide his gambling app on his phone. He knew better than to cross his mother. Meanwhile, Ethan and I found a strange sense of peace. With Nana Rose acting as the perimeter defense, we could actually focus on our own lives. But the peace was fragile. Brenda's narcissism wasn't gone, it was just pressurized. She's going to blow, I told Ethan one night, rubbing my growing bump. She can't handle not being the center of attention. Let her, Ethan said, looking more tired than ever. As long as she doesn't hurt you or the baby. But Brenda had a way of making everything about her. Chapter 3, The Ultrasound War. 3 months passed. The tension in the house was thick enough to choke on. My belly was showing a neat, round curve. Brenda, however, just looked bloated, her face puffy from sneaking salty snacks while claiming she was on a baby diet. We had our anatomy scans scheduled on the same day. A logistical nightmare, but Hank insisted it would be a bonding experience. In the waiting room, Brenda refused to sit in the chairs. She demanded a wheelchair, claiming her ankles were too dainty for her weight. People stared. I buried my face in a magazine. Chloe looks so plain, Brenda whispered loudly to Hank. Look at me, I have the glow. The baby girl in me is giving me beauty. When the doctor called me back, everything was perfect. A healthy boy. Strong heartbeat. Ethan cried. Then it was Brenda's turn. We waited in the hallway. 10 minutes later, we heard shouting. You're lying. Your machine is broken. Brenda screamed. The doctor, a stern woman who looked like she took zero nonsense, walked out, followed by a red-faced Brenda and a pale Hank. Mrs. Shin, the doctor said calmly. It is not a lie. You have gestational diabetes and preeclampsia. Your blood pressure is through the roof. You are high risk. You need bed rest, a strict diet, no salt, no sugar, and you need to stop the hysterics, or you will have a stroke. Brenda turned to us, eyes wild. She's jealous of me. She wants to starve my baby. Shut up, Brenda. Nana Rose stepped out from the elevator, she had insisted on coming. The doctor said no sugar. That means no more sneaking cakes at 3 a.m. If you kill this baby because you can't control your mouth, I will personally haunt you from the grave. The drive home was silent. The reality was setting in. Brenda wasn't a cute oopsie mommy. She was a geriatric medical crisis. Chapter 4, The Financial Black Hole. By the 6th month, the atmosphere shifted from annoying to dangerous. Hank cornered Ethan in the kitchen. Son, Hank started, using that greasy, manipulative tone. Your mother's medical bills, the special food, it's adding up. And the business is slow. The business hasn't made a profit in a decade, Dad, Ethan said, pouring coffee. What do you want? We need $50,000. Just a loan. For your brother or sister. I stepped in. No. Hank sneered. I wasn't asking you, outsider. It's our money, I said, leaning against the counter. Our house fund. We have a baby coming too, Hank. Remember? You're selfish. Hank shouted. We raised Ethan. We paid for his college. And Ethan has been paying your mortgage for 5 years, I countered. The bank of Ethan is closed. That night, things escalated. Brenda, desperate for attention and angry about the diet, threw herself down the last 2 steps of the staircase. It was a calculated fall, she landed on the thick carpet, making sure to protect her stomach, but screamed like she'd been shot. Chloe pushed me, she shrieked as Hank ran to her. She pushed me. She wants to kill the air. I was at the top of the stairs, holding a basket of laundry, frozen in shock. Ethan stormed out of our room. I saw you, Mom. I was right there. Chloe is 10 feet away. You're lying for her. Brenda wailed. My back. My baby. Nana Rose appeared from her room. She didn't yell this time. She walked over to Brenda, who was writhing on the floor, and poked her with the cane. Get up. If you were hurt, you wouldn't be screaming, you'd be unconscious. Stop the theater. But Brenda wouldn't stop. We had to call the ambulance. It was a waste of resources, but it gave us a night of peace. When she came back the next day, legally discharged with nothing but a bruised ego, the locks on our bedroom door were changed. Chapter 5, The Double Baby Shower. I want a gender reveal party, Brenda announced over a dinner of boiled chicken, enforced by Nana. And a shower. A huge one. At the country club. We can't afford that, Hank grumbled. Then make Chloe pay for it. We can do a joint one. She has rich friends. I laughed. Absolutely not. I'm having a small brunch with my friends. You can do whatever you want. But I want your friends' gifts. Brenda blurted out, masking it quickly. I mean, family unity. In the end, Hank took out a payday loan. I found the paperwork in the trash to throw Brenda a tacky, over-the-top bash in the backyard. She wore a pink tulle dress that looked like a cupcake exploded. She sat on a throne she rented. My friends and I sat at a separate table, quietly celebrating. The disaster happened when it was time for gifts. I received practical things, a high-end stroller, a savings bond, organic clothes. Brenda opened her gifts. Hank had bought her cheap toys. Her few friends gave her gag gifts or gift cards. She stared at my pile. Why does she get the bugaboo? Brenda whined, her voice rising. I'm the matriarch. I deserve the premium gear. She actually lunged for my stroller box. Nana Rose intercepted her, hooking Brenda's dress with her cane. Sit down, you greedy cow. Those people aren't your friends. They're Chloe's. You want nice things? Get a job. Brenda burst into tears, flipped the cake table, and ran inside. The party ended with Hank apologizing to the guests while eating a handful of smashed cake off the grass. Chapter 6, The Eye of the Storm. Month 8. Brenda was on strict bed rest. Her blood pressure was a ticking time bomb. The baby Brenda act had dissolved into genuine misery. She was swollen, uncomfortable, and terrified. One late night, I found her in the kitchen, staring at a glass of water. She looked old. Not the cute 50 she tried to project, but a tired, worn-out woman. It hurts, she whispered. Everything hurts. I told you, I said, not unkindly. I poured her some water. It's hard enough at 30. At 50, it's a war on your body. Hank says. Hank says it'll be fine. He says once the baby is here, we'll be famous. The miracle mom. Maybe get a reality show. Hank is an idiot, Brenda. A reality show? You're going to be changing diapers when you should be planning retirement. She looked at me, her eyes wet. I just wanted to be special again. Ethan left. You came. I felt erased. So you replaced us with a baby you can't take care of? I thought you'd help. You know, tradition. I'm not the help, Brenda. I'm a mother now, too. My loyalty is to my son, not yours. For a moment, I thought we had a breakthrough. But then Hank walked in, and Brenda's face hardened back into the mask of the victim. Chapter 7, The Race to the Delivery Room. Fate, it seems, has a twisted sense of humor. 2 weeks before my due date, my water broke. Ethan was calm, practiced. We grabbed the hospital bag. As we were walking out the door, a scream tore through the house. Brenda. We found her in the hallway, a puddle beneath her. But the water wasn't clear, it was tinged with blood. Placental abruption. Help me, she screamed, real fear in her eyes this time. Call 911. Ethan yelled to Hank. No time. I shouted. Get her in the car. We're going to the same hospital anyway. The drive was a nightmare. Ethan drove like a stuntman. I was breathing through contractions in the front seat. In the back, Brenda was howling, gripping Hank's hair. We crashed into the ER bay. Nurses swarmed. Because Brenda was high risk and bleeding, they rushed her to surgery immediately. I was wheeled to a labor suite. Go with her, I told Ethan, seeing his face torn. She might die, Ethan. Go check on her, then come back to me. I'm only 4 centimeters. Ethan ran. I labored alone for an hour, Nana Rose holding my hand when she finally arrived by taxi. You're doing good, girl, Nana said, wiping my forehead. Stronger than that willow tree in the ore. Ethan came back pale as a sheet. She made it. C-section. It was messy. But the baby is out. A boy. Premature, into the NICU. And Brenda? She's out cold. BP spiked. They're monitoring for seizures. 2 hours later, I pushed my son, Leo, into the world. He was screaming, pink and perfect. Chapter 8, Postpartum Depression versus Postpartum Delusion. The hospital stay was a study in contrasts. My room was quiet, filled with flowers and soft cooing. Leo latched easily. We were tired but blissful. Down the hall, Brenda's room was a circus. She woke up demanding pain meds and refusing to see the baby. It hurts, she screamed at the nurses. Take it away. I need sleep. Her son, who Hank named King, I wish I was joking, was in the NICU. He was small, frail, and needed constant contact. Brenda refused to go down there. The beeping gives me a headache, she claimed. Nana Rose wheeled herself into Brenda's room. You wanted a baby. Go hold him. I can't. I'm the patient. Brenda yelled. When we were discharged, the reality hit home. We brought Leo to our peaceful, prepared nursery. Brenda and Hank brought King home 3 weeks later. They had no crib. They had forgotten to buy diapers because Hank thought the hospital gave you a lifetime supply. The first night, King screamed. High-pitched, colicky screams. Brenda banged on our door at 2 a.m. She looked like a zombie. Chloe, fix him. She tried to thrust the screaming bundle at me. No, I said, blocking the door. I'm breastfeeding Leo. Go away. He's hungry. I don't have milk. Use the formula the doctor gave you. I don't know how to mix it. It's too complicated. Read the can, Brenda. I slammed the door. This went on for a month. The baby Brenda persona was gone, replaced by monster Brenda. She resented the baby. She resented Hank. She resented us. Chapter 9, The Ultimatum. The breaking point came when Leo was 3 months old. I came home from a grocery run to find King in my playpen, and Brenda nowhere to be seen. Ethan was at work. Nana Rose was napping. There was a note on the counter, gone to get my hair done. Mommy needs a break. Watch King until 5. It was 10 a.m. I didn't call Brenda. I called Child Protective Services. When Brenda walked in at 5:30, fresh blowout, smelling of expensive perfume she couldn't afford, a social worker was sitting at the kitchen table with me and Nana Rose. What is this? Brenda asked, dropping her keys. This is an intervention, the social worker said. We have a report of child abandonment. I didn't abandon him. I left him with family. Without asking, I cut in. I am not your babysitter. I am not his mother. If you leave him here again, I will hand him to the police. Hank stormed in then. You traitorous witch. Calling the cops on family? Enough. Nana Rose stood up, smashing a ceramic vase on the floor to get silence. I am done. I am done watching this circus. She pulled a thick envelope from her purse. This house, Nana said, pointing at the floor. You think it's yours, Hank? You think I signed the deed over to you 10 years ago? Hank went pale. Mom, we talked about this. I never signed the final papers, Nana revealed, a shark-like grin on her face. Because I knew you were an idiot. The house is mine. And I'm selling it. Brenda shrieked. You can't. We have a newborn. Exactly, Nana said. You have a newborn you can't afford and refuse to raise. I'm selling the house. The proceeds will be split. Half goes to Ethan and Chloe for a down payment on a new place. Half goes into a trust for King, accessible only when he's 18. You too? She pointed at Hank and Brenda. You get nothing. You can figure it out. Chapter 10, The Fall of the House of Shin. The eviction was swift. Nana Rose was ruthless. Ethan and I found a beautiful townhome 20 minutes away. We moved out within the month. Hank and Brenda had to move into a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. Without the house equity to borrow against, Hank's debts caught up with him. He had to take a job as a night security guard. Brenda, stripped of her fancy house, her rich lifestyle, and her audience, imploded. She had to raise King without help. No nannies, no Chloe, no Nana Rose. We saw them one last time at Christmas, 6 months later. Brenda looked 10 years older. Her hair was graying at the roots. She wore sweatpants with stains on them. King was a loud, boisterous toddler who threw food at her. Ethan, she pleaded, cornering him near the tree. Just a few thousand. Until Dad gets his bonus. No, Mom, Ethan said, holding Leo firmly. We have our own expenses. But look at me. I'm suffering. You got what you wanted, I said, stepping up beside Ethan. You wanted to be the center of attention. You wanted a baby. You wanted to be young again. Well, congratulations. You're a young mother now. Enjoy the sleepless nights. Brenda looked at me with pure venom, but she didn't have the energy to fight. King started screaming for a cookie, and she flinched, a look of pure exhaustion crossing her face. As we drove away, leaving them in their cramped, noisy apartment, Ethan took my hand. "Do you feel bad?" he asked. I looked back at the fading silhouette of the apartment complex. I thought about the ruined anniversary, the suicide threats, the demands, the attempt to steal our joy. "Not even a little bit," I said. Nana Rose, sitting in the back seat with Leo, cackled. "That's my girl. Now, drive. I want to get home in time for my soaps." Brenda got to be a baby until she was 50. But in the end, she had to grow up the hard way. And let me tell you, karma is a mother.